Okay, folks, listen. Now, this is the lighter version of it. All day long, I've been bombarded with landscape noise all fucking day, and this is the lighter part of it. Now, you know what they do on some dates? They'll prop up, see, landscape noise, especially a continuous sound, but they'll also use a mixture of different sounds, winding down sounds a lot. But one of the biggest things that's reported to be done in gang stalking is not just landscape noise, but how it's done. So let me just give you a fast example, and I'm going to let you go because I got stuff to do today. By the way, I'm being extremely targeted today. By the way, I'm going to share something with you. Last night when I was laying down at this spot, as soon as I laid down and went to bed, they went after the right knee so massively it went through all my shielding. And I literally felt my my right knee, pulsing up and down. Okay, and they waited until dark. And let me tell you another thing here. Do you see this backpack right here where it's at? No, I've only used this spot. This is the second day, and I'm not gonna say when I'm gonna be moving, but it's gonna be soon. But let me tell you something about gang stalking. With these biofilm light crystal ocular islands implants that are in my eyes, massively exposed in my blog and in many of the YouTube videos that you're watching this video through, so trust me, when you go in those videos, I know that description sounds weird and even bizarre, but trust me, baby cakes, when you go into the YouTube account you're watching this video through, you're going to see massive videos in it that show these islands implants, and then you're going to say, okay, I definitely see them. There's no question about it at all. They're there. They're in your face, and they prove many crimes actually, including the electromagnetic weapons boil bumps that push them out and even lit them up, which is why you see the two white lines on them. Those are little itty bitty embedded light crystals within the biofilm itself, which is transparent. And they're evenly arrayed in rows and columns along the entire biofilm, along the entire eye. Okay, from length to length, across, okay, horizontal. So when they sent the energy to my head and face on the night of June 2nd, 2020, and then throughout the day when I was at Vaughn's grocery store, where I'm extremely targeted at, with these weapons as well as Phil's coffee shop, bus routes, bus stops, and you just would not believe the sickness I'm enduring. Oh, absolutely. Now, the only reason I brought this to your attention is because it plays a role in an additional statement I'm getting ready to make here. Because of these islands implants, these wild, vicious, which is why the back left and right back base cranium is targeted on July 9th, 2022, in a live video, in the video I made, which is, when I said live video, I'm used to saying that because I used to make Periscope videos and Twitter video broadcast videos, which are live. But since this video is being made in real time, it's actually live. So I'm just in the habit of saying that. So on June 9th, 2022, I made a video in real time, just like I'm making one now. And after I shaved the back of my head, and then I figured, well, I shaved the back of my head, and I did that so I could clear up the hair out of there, which then hopefully would have enabled me to put specific type of shielding on the back of my head and behind my ears. Now, I do have photo evidence and video evidence of 2 non-consensual laser surgery scars behind both ears, and my ears are massively attacked. One of the biggest reported things occurring in gang stalking crimes. Google all my statements, sweethearts, and trust me, you'll see truth. And so when I shaved the back of my head, I just bought one of those cheap, big, handheld big razors that are like, real narrow, and then it got the little thing that goes over so you can shave your beard if you're a man. Okay, now the place that this landscape noise is going on at, I have been physically gaslighted by the landscape workers and many individuals that live in the condominiums across the street over the years. Okay, so understand and know when you research gang stalking, landscaping noise, construction noise, lawnmower noise, you will conclude that it is something widely reported in this crime. So when I say that, when landscape noise is going on around me all fucking day long, from the time you wake up including all day. I mean, I've heard this shit going on at 9:30 at night before. Literally no joke. Alright, so anyways, let me put on my noise cancellation headphones. Hold on a second. So on June 9, 2022, after I shaved the back of my head all the way up to the occipital lobe, which is at the very back base of cranium, I then decided to make a video because I was being extremely targeted all week long up to that date and on it. So I figured, well, let's see if there's any direct energy weapon burn marks, burn bubbles, which I ended up finding one on the back of my ear in the video I made. Oh, absolutely. But what was caught was a lot more important, or at least equally important, but just related to another subject issue that actually is also related to the ears. But just hear me out, because I know it sounds right now like I'm jumping around a little bit, but this is all connected, and you'll see how in a minute. So when I made the video, what I did was I brought my video camera app up, and I pressed the record button, and I held the phone. And like right now, I'm making the video right now through the back lens of the phone that's on the back of the phone. That's what I used when I made the video on July 9th. Okay, and let me interject another statement. On hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dates, when I go to make a video, Periscope videos, Twitter video, broadcast videos, if the landscape noising wasn't already going on, it all of a sudden starts and it gets real loud. Do you notice how louder it is right now? See, one thing you need to know about auditorial memory is that auditorial memory, when you are explaining a subject matter, that information gets anchored in your mind on an auditorial brainwave. Okay? Well, when a gang stalking victim is experiencing ultrasound, I got over 3,000 snap screenshots from my ultrasound apps from at least 4 different phones showing extremely high readouts of ultrasound. So then everything I would say would also go on that auditory trained pathway. Now, if they don't want you to have a clear, concise auditorial memory on a brainwave, what they'll do is they'll prop up their 6-tonic shit and have it be so loud to where the brain even has a hard time clearly hearing what you're saying. In order to interrupt that auditorial anchoring, gang stalking is this sadistic. No exaggeration. It doesn't matter if you believe this or not, or at least initially understand this or not. You need to know that you are literally listening to an extremely educated victim. Because do you really believe it's an accident when I go to make over 1,000 videos? I'd say at least 1,000 of my videos. YouTube videos, Periscope videos, Twitter video, broadcast videos, videos through my video camera app. The fucking second I start fucking talking, if it's not already going on, it'll start going on and it'll be really loud, and or the car convoy noise harassment. So the only thing I can do is just tell, and when I'm processing internal dialogue, when I'm composing things in my tweet, which are descriptions of this crime, they play a bunch of different types of music in coffee shops, through whatever they use, the intercom or whatever, and this music is got a lot of strong bass guitar beats to it, a lot of bass drum beats to it, and then the other instruments are can be like a lot of colliding cacophony of different instrumental instruments being used, where there's no rhythm, there's no even rhythm or even melody. It's just a bunch of cacophony and clashing sounds. Because they know because my blog is sabotaged every single time I'm in it, and even when I'm not. So when you're describing the victimization you endure, and when you're describing information about this crime, you're describing it internally, verbally, auditorially. And so while your brain is hearing you describe these things, that would then also create auditory memories. Well, they can have your brain creating a auditorial memory related to the sequential description of what they do, because they don't want your brain to have those types of normal auditory trained pathways for memory retrieval, because they don't want you to be able to recall what these little maggots are massively after and I know this is going to sound nuts, but just hear me out. When you go to Google and you type in at Google how gang stalking crimes intentionally try to create artificial schizophrenia, well, what's one of the biggest symptomologies of schizophrenia itself? Eclipses in thought. Okay, have you ever seen those situations, whether it be through your own experience or a movie, where you see a father or mother or anybody talking on the phone, excuse me, and they got screaming kids in the background, begging for their attention? Okay, excuse me. And so then, therefore, when you're talking on the phone and you're trying to formulate your thoughts and concerning what you want to say, or a response to what you're hearing somebody say that you're talking to on the phone, that gets massively interrupted, because you got all these different high pitches sounds of kids screaming, kids talking, music maybe playing in the background, somebody cutting their lawn around you. And so what that does is that creates auditorial breaks in the auditorial processing of your own thoughts in relation to the conversation exchange between you and the person you're talking to, and or you listening to the person you're talking to. And that's why a lot of times parents will kind of go off on their kids and say, you know, and even raise their voice and yell at them when they're trying to have a phone conversation, when the kids are interrupting them as they're trying to talk. Oh, absolutely. That's why when you see movies, like when say if you're watching a movie and you see people in a news station, or a police department even, and they're trying to take a phone call, and it's related to a serious matter or a subject matter where they really want to get that information, and then you got all that office noise going on behind you, people will just say, hey everybody, can you just shut up? Because what you got to understand about gang stalking is that gang stalking is a military operation. And the U.S. intelligence agencies are massively involved in it. They then turn around and control state, county, and local governments, state, county, and local police, including fusion centers. Now, this is the program of gang stalking is heavily dependent upon neural weaponry, okay, acoustic weaponry included, neural interface weaponry, which also includes things like remote neural monitoring, psychotronics, voice to skull, ELF broadcasting, and much more. Now, all of that is built up and around the psychological operations perpetrated through the community-based gang stalking, and the psychological operations that can be played on the gang stalking victims' neurological and biological systems through other features and functions, some of the features and functions of remote neural monitoring and voice to skull. Now, when you go to Google and you research at Google how gang stalking crimes intentionally try to create artificial schizophrenia in gang stalking victims, as crazy as this sounds, and trust me, you got to remember something, we are literally dealing with extreme criminally insane psychopaths, because you've got to be criminally insane in order to purposely try to neurologically mutilate a human being purposely, including in the ways that they are and for the crime motivations that they're after. So when you thoroughly research gang stalking and how they try to create artificial schizophrenia, to understand that is by and through extensive exhaustive research with a mature patient posture with a reasonable amount of intelligence, but you got to be very patient. And then you should also research thoroughly schizophrenia itself, so you can understand what their symptomologies are, because if you want to create artificial schizophrenia, you got to understand schizophrenia to begin with. That then dictates to you the resulting educated conclusion will dictate to you that it's obvious then that neuroscientists and forensic psychiatry is involved in the creation of this crime and the creation of the techniques and methods and tactics used to effect it, and how they work in conjunction with the neuroscientists who use the psychotronics, which also then assist it. Because auditory and visual brain entrainment, including how they try to create artificial schizophrenic symptomologies through the psychotronics and the community-based gang stalking, they got to incorporate their expertise into the applied techniques. Okay, so when you're trying to listen to a phone, when you're trying to engage in a phone conversation where you're talking, which then before you talk, you have an internal thought, you then verbalize that thought through your talking. What you're listening to is understanding the sequential presentation of what you're hearing on when you're talking to somebody else. So in other words, like I'm talking to you right now, right? So then therefore, as a result of you hearing me sequentially present to you this information, your brain is following it. it makes comprehensive conclusions concerning it. And since you're hearing things that you've never heard before, you're not going to thoroughly understand what you're hearing as I'm saying it, because these things have to do with educated knowledge that you have probably been not educated about. You cannot understand what's in a calculus book and say, I know calculus, without picking up the book and learning calculus. So I understand that part of it. So, but you will be able to come to a educated conclusion through the research, and then you come back and continually listen to the video, and then the brain will interlock the data. But you see, when you're having a phone conversation, say if you're just having a phone conversation about anything, about something in your life, about something that, and the person you're talking to is maybe might already have some prior knowledge based on the subject matter. So, you know, when you look at, in general, your general type of phone conversations, a phone conversation will have a topic, a subject matter, related issues maybe, okay, and then therefore you have a conversational exchange, so that then the phone conversation can then come to a comprehensive conclusion, you understand, and then therefore, you know, there you have it. Well, in gang stalking, these wild whores know that, one, what they're after, and they're after many things. It's not just about intentionally creating auditory schizophrenia, which means then they are trying to create the neurological, attributes of that through using applied techniques, methods, tactics, resources, which include psychotronics, so that the neurological entrainment can reflect these types of symptomologies, which can include eclipses in thought. You're trying to have a phone conversation, you're constantly being interrupted, therefore that thought is not sequentially processed. It then becomes fragmented, it then becomes nonlinear. You got to go back and then go back to a part where you left off at, and then continue the sequential conversation. These wild, filthy whores know all of this. They know it all. Okay? And then they take that information, they say, how can we create a nonlinear, conflicting thought? How can we interrupt the auditorial processes of a human being when they're internally, verbally describing the sequential description of the victimization they endure? They can't have you having those type of auditorial sequential memories. So what they'll do when you're creating your blog and you're describing what's going on about this crime, what's going on concerning the victimization you're enduring, they will fucking go to every and all lengths at any and all times to prop up something that then causes the brain to process it while you're describing it, whether you're saying it verbally or processing it internally, auditorily. Okay? Hundreds of videos I've made, they have propped up different winding types of landscape noise, loud landscape noise, car convoy noise harassment that acts with it, so a whole cacophony of different noises can be heard, so that the brain does not hear me, myself, talking and presenting things in a sequential order. So for memory retrieval, when I need to retrieve it when I'm experiencing one of their techniques. Gang stalking is a vicious, demonic crime perpetrated by absolute sadistic sadists. Oh, absolutely. These people are fucked in the head beyond imagination. So let me segue back into what I was trying to get into earlier. Now, when I made that video on July 9th, 2022, after I shaved the back of my head, which I did that so my hair would not get in the way of things coming in contact with the skin on the back of the head and behind the ears. And trust me when I say, those things are extremely effective in assisting me in interfering with what they're doing with me, okay? Concerning some of the resources connected to this crime, and I know you don't understand that, just trust me on it. What I'm stating has got massive factual reasons, okay? So the only thing I can do is say, just know that, okay? So I shaved the back of my head up to the occipital lobe, which is in the very back base of the head, and I shaved behind my ears, so then I could comfortably put the shielding that I need on the back of the head that is being targeted by these wild, vile animals. Oh, absolutely. Now, and trust me when I say, when you go into this YouTube account, what you want to do is go in and look at the video that was uploaded on August 10th, 2022, and the video that's 9 minutes long that was uploaded on August 13th, 2022. And then when you bring those videos up, what you want to do is take non-stop consecutive snap screenshots, the August 10th, 2022 video, you want to start taking non-stop consecutive snap screenshots at exactly, memory serves me correctly, 3 minutes and 19 seconds into it, up to 4 minutes. Take non-stop consecutive snap screenshots through that time period, okay? And you're going to literally see electromagnetic waves entering my tent and literally interfacing with my head and cheek and face. Literally. Okay? And then on the August, I just started watching the August 13th video. I haven't been able to watch any of the August video past 4 minutes yet because this crime keeps me intentionally busy every day. And it controls my schedule daily. Okay? Oh, absolutely. Purposely. Okay? So I don't know if there's any other additional evidences captured in that particular video, the August 10th one. Now, the August 13th video, I uploaded 2 videos on that date. You want to look at the one that's 9 minutes and a few seconds long. That's the second evidence video of the same thing being caught. Except in that video, I had shielding on the side of my tent. Metallic shielding. Okay? And then when they sent the blue and white electromagnetic waves into the tent, onto the tent to try and interface with me, the shielding stopped it, and you're literally going to see electricity. It literally looks like electricity, like the same type of electricity you would see when a lightning bolt claps, okay, in the sky, and then it breaks off into these like white lightning branches. You know, like, you know how you see a branch on a tree and it stretches out? Well, you know how like lightning bolts will stretch out and you'll see the electricity part of it? That's what you're seeing on the side of the tent in the August 13th video, and much more. Now, just trust me on this. So that's what the shielding is all about concerning what I want to put on the back of my head. Now, when you take the consecutive snap screenshots from the August 10th, 2022 video, you're literally going to see these beams entering my tent. In fact, I think on that day, pretty sure on, oh, let me see. Yeah, on that day, the tent was put up in this direction. So you're going to see the wavy lines, okay, and you're going to see the word thing. Because that video was made through my home screen, and my home screen was facing me while I was sitting in the back of the tent. So you're going to be seeing it, okay, from this angle and point of view, okay? And then you're going to see that black wavy thing, okay, over there, and you're going to see part of the word thing of everything that's written on my tent. And I was sitting in this back corner on the opposite side. And the shielding was caught, oh, sorry. Oh, okay. So the shielding on the, when they were caught on the 11th, that video uploaded on the 13th, the 9-minute long one, the shielding was on this side of the tent. And the attack came from the same direction just about, which I think it actually came from 2 directions simultaneously. On the 13th, on the 11th, it's very likely a helicopter played a role in it, along with neighbors and or something on the property. You can go to Google and research drones and electromagnetic weapons and gang stalking. So anyways, there was shielding that was on top of the tent, and the edge of the shielding came down about right here, and you literally see the electricity from the electromagnetic waves hitting the edge of the shielding and trying to disperse into the tent, but the shielding stopped it. Now, when you take non-stop consecutive screenshots of the August 10th, 2022 video, from about, memory serves me correctly, from about 3 minutes and 19 seconds up to 4 minutes, and I mean non-stop consecutive, okay, snap screenshots, you're literally going to see the electricity entering the tent and interfacing with my head. No joke, okay? So trust me when I say, and those videos are in the YouTube account you'll be watching this one through. So when I got done shaving my head on July 9th, 2022, I then decided to make a video because I wanted to see if there was any direct energy weapon burn bubbles or any burn marks. Like right here, you see a direct energy weapon white burn mark on my neck, right by my throat. They heavily target my throat like you wouldn't believe. Oh, absolutely. And my chest, right around in this area, and they come through the back of it as well. Oh, absolutely. And then the energy just comes out the chest because they're targeting the area in the back that's right behind this area. Oh, and it's extremely debilitating. Oh, you just would not believe what they're doing to me. These people are fucking sick beyond measure. Oh, absolutely. Do you notice how this... Listen. Okay? And my tape recorder's in the record mode, so we're going to see if this landscape noise stops once the video is concluded. It probably won't, because this crime is heavily reported, okay, to monitor your cell phone activity in real time. So they see me saying that, and they know I got a tape recorder on me because I'm saying that it's in the record mode. Because I have caught this. When I made videos before, as soon as the video is concluded, the landscape noise will immediately stop. Okay? Literally. Okay? because I'm no longer talking. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I woke up this morning and one of my main audio files that I listened to from Brian 2 has disappeared off my tape recorder. Out of the blue. Out of the blue. Just vanished. Okay? So I'm just bringing that to your attention. I'm not, saying it for any other reason except for to bring it to your attention. So he's getting closer now. Okay? Now, he was all over this fucking area earlier, so why is he back? Okay? Alright, so anyway, so on July 9th, 2022, July 9th, 2022, when I decided to make the video of the back of my head, I found a 2.5-inch long surgery scar, less than 1/8 of an inch right underneath my occipital lobe. Your occipital lobe is dedicated to visual processing, okay? So is there an extreme likelihood that there are additional visual implants? You can go to Google and type in visual prosthetic implants and also look for the Utah electrode array, okay, that are assisting in the transfer of the visual processing of what I see through the islands implants. Because think about it, I've only had surgery in my life once that I'm consciously aware of, and that was when I had my wisdom teeth pulled in '84. So why do I have a 2.5-inch long surgery scar and other surgery scars on the right underneath, practically right on, literally, it's probably even less than 1/32 of an inch, okay, directly underneath my occipital lobe, and that's where I'm targeted at, the right and left occipital lobe. Now, Scripps Mercy Hospital out here in La Jolla, in the past year and a half, took 2 separate CAT scans of my head as a result of me going there and complaining about migraines. They found 2 identical uniform calcium deposits in the same located in the same exact identical position on the left and right back cranium, which is the occipital lobe. Calcium deposits are widely reported, including by doctors, okay, to form around what? Implants. And the back and left right cranium are two of the 6 main areas I get targeted at on the head. This is where I get targeted on the head mostly. Right and left back base cranium, okay? The very, very top of my head, okay? Top of the head to the right, top of the head to the left, okay? Right and left temple, the nose, both ears, okay? And what are the 2 main features and functions of what's reported concerning remote neuromonitoring interfacing neurologically with gang stalking victims? Visual and auditory processing and memory processing. So when you research right and left temple, that's auditory and memory. Right and left back base cranium is visual, okay? When you go to Google and you research how it's widely reported that gang stalking crimes, remote neural monitoring, can see what you see and hear what you hear, auditory and visual, and memory mapping and memory stimulation, remote neural monitoring. Now, I'm being hit in all the areas dedicated for what? Visual, auditory processing, and memories. Okay? The ears are also massively targeted. So I found a 2.5-inch long surgery scar more than likely less than 1/32 of an inch directly below my left occipital lobe. I got laser surgery scars behind both right and left ear, okay? And I'm not going to say how many other ones I have found at this time. Oh, absolutely. And there are also other surgery scars right around that 2.5-inch long surgery scar. So who the fuck operated on me? How did these islands implants get on me? Now, why is that important? Because that additionally helps and assists in backing up. Okay, because there's also a suspected prosthetic implant in the iris. And the reason why that's suspected is because of what's reported to go on in gang stalking crimes and the fact that when I've made videos, evidence videos of the islands implants on days that they were transparent, they become transparent when the eye creates boil sheets and or boil bumps on the surface of the eyes as a result of the brain and face being hit with electromagnetic weapons. The eye fluid and water in the eyes and the surrounding tissue will start to boil on the surface of the eyes. The islands implants rest on the eyes. So when you create boil bubbles, it's like taking an eyedropper and squeezing some water up into it. And then when you squeeze the water up into it, what you want to then do is you want to press that eyedropper so that little drops of water, okay, do that on your kitchen counter. And then what you want to do then, let me show you something, hold on. Let me find something here. I usually have it right in front of me. Now then what you want to do then is take a little piece, you can do this with probably saran wrap too, but what I would do is if you smoke, Take the saran wrap, the cellophane off the cigarette pack after you drop that drop of water from an eyedropper onto a counter on your kitchen. Okay, and then you're going to see like a little bubble of water, right? Take the cellophane from the cigarette pack and gently rest it on that drop of water, and you will see that the cellophane, okay, will not break the water bubble, the water drop, and it will rest on it. Especially if you place, like, let's say if you create a square of water drops. Okay, so you got one in each corner, and then 2 or 3 along the vertical line, the horizontal line of the square. Okay, just a little bit smaller than the square size of the cellophane, and then drop this, and then lightly, gently touch the cigarette cellophane on the water drops on the counter, and you will see that the water drops, the top of them, will hold the cigarette cellophane. So why did I give you that example? Because when boil sheets, water and eye fluid boil sheets appear on the surface of the eyes, and when boil bumps appear on the surface of the eyes, these boil bumps and boil sheets are created as a result of the eye fluid and water in the eye and the surrounding tissue not having nowhere to go because of them being heated up. Just like when you boil an egg, the water tries to escape, okay, the pan, and the flames underneath the pan, and when you're boiling an egg, and the water ain't got nowhere to go, okay, so it starts boiling into these little boil bubbles at the top around the egg, okay? And so the boil bumps that are on my eyes, which you see in many other videos that show these eye lens implants being shown in the videos within the YouTube account you're watching this video through, you'll see these boil bumps on the surface of the eyes. On the surface of the eyes, well, these eye lens implants, which are transparent biofilm like crystal ocular eye lens implants, they rest on the eyes. When the boil bumps and or boil sheets form on the eyes as a result of them being created from the electromagnetic weapons attack, which heats up the eye fluid and the water in the eyes and surrounding tissue, creating boil bumps and boil sheets on the surface of the eyes, it then pushes the back part of the biofilm like crystal ocular eye lens implants out, making them transparently visible and even lighting up the crystals embedded within them. And what's lighting up the crystals is the energy from the directed energy weapons, because it gets absorbed in the skin, it flows through the skin, and since it's energy, the light crystals are then being lit up, which is why you see that straight white line in them. Okay, now these are little itty bitty crystals embedded within the biofilm, but they're so close together, evenly arrayed in rows and columns throughout, from side to side on the entire biofilm. And since they're so close together, it's why it looks like one lit up line. But they're actually, the crystals are so close together, when they light up, okay, then the light from the edge of one touches the light of the edge of the other, and so it just looks like one line. Okay, so now you know that. Okay, so here's the main point of the reason why I brought all this up. I've been here only 2 nights. And so when I get here, they can see where I put the tent up at, and they track you down to the foot. All right. So then, therefore, they see where I end up at geographically. Then they see through the eye lens implant what I'm doing. Both of them. They're in one or in each eye. So then, therefore, they're able to see where I put the backpack at. They're able to see when I first get here that I set certain things down here and then go to grab them later to bring them in the tent. Therefore, and then when they see that sometimes when I lay down and rest like this, okay, then they can see where I'm looking at concerning my field of view. So you know what they did the first night and the second night? They waited until it got dark out, and they either brought somebody up on the property, or I don't know how they did it, but a light was seen almost at ground level, just a little bit, just a teeny bit above ground level. A light was seen over there. Now, that was done so that when I go to bend over to reach to get shit out of the tent, or bend over to look to see what I got to get out of my backpack, I then see the light. That then excites an electromagnetic response out of the brain, and that's what remote neuromonitoring's after. Why do you think brighting is one of the biggest methods identified in gang stalking? Because light helps information gets transferred from the retina to the optical nerve to the visual cortex. Okay, And it also acts as an anchor to excite a mental response because they know you know they're doing it. Okay, so then when the brain recognizes something they're doing, a evoked potential then fires. So just research brighting. Okay, absolutely. Okay, where they bright you with flashlights, headlights, and put little lights on the fucking property so you fucking see them. Oh, absolutely. It's just stupid demonic shit. But you see, what you gotta understand about gang stalking and anchoring related to the sensitization method is that once they, because they know you're gonna notice it, it's why they prop it up. So then once they see you noticing it, they know your brain's gonna create a correlation to it. That then causes an evoked potential to fire in the brain. And that's what they're after. Okay, because then it becomes a stimuli. Therefore, every time you see it in the future, it will cause that evoked potential to fire, and then remote neural monitoring. And then when it fires, that neuronal activity transfers on the ultrasound wave to them, and then that's how they latch onto you by creating and sending a modulated signal to interface with it through the speed of light. Absolutely, because the ultrasound is rotational, so meaning it's a continuous stream. So when that evoked potential fires, it travels on the ultrasound to their computer. Their computer has already identified it on a prior date, which is why it's done the first time. Not, all right? So when they see that evoked potential fire, they mathematically equate it. They then put it in the computer, okay? Then when you see it again, the evoked potential fires, it travels along the ultrasound wave to their computer. Their computer is pre-programmed then to send a already created modulated frequency that's very close to the evoked potential's frequency, so they latch together, and then now the victim is latched on to remote neural monitoring. Okay, so do you see how it works? And the ultrasound is also massively connected to the intentional type of schizophrenic auditory and visual and training pathways that they're trying to create in the person's neurological systems because of the pre-calibrated, okay, decibels and frequencies that they send to the brain from it, of it. Okay, so you just wouldn't believe I got over 3,000 snap screenshots of. I can bring up my other phone right now and bring up the ultrasound app on it and show you right now, literally. But I don't feel like doing that because it's only got about 22% power on it, and every time I turn on that friggin' phone, it gets drained within 2 minutes because they love draining your batteries. Because that then you notice it, they evoke potential fires, and there you go. These little fucking maggots will do everything and anything to create an anchor in a victim's mind, to associate an act, to associate something you see, to associate something you hear to them, and to get you to describe it and identify it, because that also helps remote neural monitoring concerning the exposures of Brian 2 and ex-CIA scientist Dr. Robert Duncan. And it was a Brian 2 audio file that just magically disappeared off my tape recorder last night, out of the blue. Just disappeared. Okay? Absolutely. So last night, I put a black garbage bag right on this tree branch, so that when I had to reach out and get the things that were still outside the tent, I wouldn't have to see it. So then what I did was, when I got the last thing out and moved the black garbage bag back, it was shut off. So they had already seen what I did. Okay? So they just said, fuck it. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Okay? I used to have to set up garbage bags on tree branches at another wooded area, because every single time I went to places on that property to interface with hidden property of mine, they would instantly start propping up massive black and white cars going by. Black and white cars would pull up and sit right 10 feet away from me, practically for the entire time while I was interfacing with my property. Because black and white is one of the biggest things that can easily assist in... See, what you got to understand about black and white and color coding and gang stalking is that black and white patterns are some of the easiest things that when they're trying to interface with you visually. In fact, I tell you what, in order for you to understand this, I don't have to go into a long explanation concerning this. Consider this. Go to Google YouTube search box and type in a simulated reality YouTube channel. Okay? Now, and then when you type that in at YouTube search box, you also want to type in with it targeted individuals, and let's just say either CIA, MK Ultra, or electronic harassment. Now you'll know you're in the right YouTube channel when you press enter, and then when you see a bunch of videos come up that might have the titles in them, A Simulated Reality, you'll know you're in the right YouTube channel when you find the YouTube channel that's literally titled A Simulated Reality, and the still frame photo, the still frame photo that's on the YouTube channel itself, you'll see a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow, and if you really take a look at the photo, you'll see a human being behind bars. Okay? Now, the reason why I'm directing you to this YouTube channel is because that entire YouTube channel is dedicated to what's happening, many of the crimes happening to gang stalker victims who are being used for non-consensual human experimentation, and much more, much more, including trying to retrieve crime motivations through us. Oh, absolutely. Now, then, when you get to your YouTube channel, what you want to do is you look for the YouTube playlist that's got demigods in the title. Watch it from beginning to end, and then you will see why they're using black and white. The sine wave that you see in that video is the ultrasound wave, except that you don't see it as a nice. What they're doing through gang stalking is they're not sending a nice, even waveform that you will see in that video. They're sending ultrasound waves through the brain, which is the sine wave, actually. Okay. But they're calibrating the sine wave, which is the ultrasound wave, to victims at extremely neurologically damaging fluctuations concerning decibels and frequencies, because their literal goal is to literally, purposely, intentionally, with complete malice of forethought and original criminal intent, is to create a extremely mutilated neurological system. Okay. Which then assists them in future neural hacking to create neural interruptions, neural eclipses, neurological interruptions to create neurological interference signals, for then further neurological hacking and influencing motivations that then lead to the victim's exploitation. And this neurological hacking can take place fucking anywhere. It can take place fucking anywhere because they're using the ultrasound through Wi-Fi and cell phone service signal carriers. They can put a Wi-Fi box up on your fucking property around your home, or even in your home. They can use emitters, these little emitters and antennas. They can even use portable satellite dishes, okay, that are no bigger than the back, that are no bigger than 1 or 2 feet. Absolutely. These fuckers are mobile. They're also stationary. They're in every community. They got massive amounts of technological resources. So this is just a rudimentary introduction to you concerning what these wild, vile animals will use. And when you do thorough research concerning each one of my descriptions, you will conclude truth, because you got ex-CIA scientists that helped develop some of this technology, like Robert Duncan, all over the internet exposing it. You got people who have done thorough, exhaustive research concerning not just this crime and what it does, but its motivations and how it's doing it. So when I'm telling you these things, my fellow American citizens, what you need to understand about these wild, vile whores who host this crime is they got the community influencing. They got the community connections to work with landlords, landscape workers, neighbors, property owners, police, courts. Okay? We're talking about the USA military. We're talking about the intelligence agencies, who are the main widely reported hosts of this crime, and how they are working within quasi positions within federal governments, state, county, and local governments. Okay, police, federal, state, county, and local. Okay, and they're connected, colluding partners, doctors and area hospitals, medical centers, medical clinics, even private practice doctors. Then you got all the other influences that go with these government positions of authority and government positions of influence, that then allows them to get the cooperation of community members, employment descriptions within the community, corporations and businesses within our community. It's nothing but a massive program that's been integrated within our communities, our neighborhoods, so that they can affect their crime motivations and achieve them by and through using any resource within the community, any environment within the community, and how their apparatuses are propped up within the community. And by the way, the next time you go by any street, major intersection, you might want to look at the telephone poles and the street light poles. You might start seeing 5G Wi-Fi boxes. Okay, and remote neural monitoring, one of its main reported conduit is Wi-Fi, including 5G. So, in closing, go to Google and YouTube, or Google and type in Romola D, Everyday Concerned Citizen, Romola D, Ramola, Romola D, Everyday Concerned Citizen, Neural Weaponry, 5G. Okay, just, and then research all her descriptions. I forward you to her because she has had the time to. Fortunately, she has had the time to do to do more investigative research and bring that research data and give a more comprehensive display of it all. Because this crime is so barbaric in my life to where I'm spending half my time. They have literally shrunk my life down into nonstop, to where it's a nonstop experience of this crime, nonstop trying to survive it, while nonstop. And part of that survival, in fact, a good part of that survival, is where they're purposely causing me to move. Okay, practically every other day, but they make me so sick I can't move far, which extremely suggests that they're in the fucking neighborhood, propped up in homes and houses that are assisting them, plus they got other resources as well. So because they know that they purposely condition victims to run, and then they just keep them running. Okay, strongly suggesting also radiotelemetry interface with additional biomedical implantations and probably neurological implantations. There are interviews online by a vast amount of victims, including doctors who have helped them, including doctors who have written books that have helped them. There are some victims that got up to 200 implants in them. And these little fucking maggots just sit back and remotely fry victims alive from the inside out. Oh, absolutely. Electromagnetic fields, electromagnetic nets, scalar weapons, direct energy weapons, electromagnetic weapons, plasma weapons, x-ray weapons. These are the most vile, vicious fucking animals that have ever walked this fucking planet. And they better pray to their demon god I never find out their fucking name. That includes their whore-ass bitch doctors. Okay? Abso-fucking-lutely. If I ever find out any doctor, I already know, let me just put it to you this way. My fellow American citizens, I will never, ever, ever be violent. Ever. They have tried to massively provoke me to be violent out in the violent community. They absolutely will try to provoke you to act out mentally and verbally so they can claim you're loud and boisterous, so they can claim you're mentally ill, so they can claim you're a threat to yourself or others, so they can lock you up to fucking exploit you. Racketeering schemes, illegal probate control schemes. They will fucking do everything and anything to make money off you in every direction and from every angle. Okay, one victim can be used for 30 crime motivations. No exaggeration. Identity theft, illegal probate control schemes, staged videotape rapes. Oh, you just would not believe what these sick, vile horrors are connected to. It's demonic beyond mathematical quantification. No exaggeration. Okay, at all. These are the most evil, sick fucks. Okay, these are total strangers to me. Complete total strangers. They could fucking get on a bus and sit right across me. I wouldn't even know it. Okay? But they better fucking pray I never fucking identify them, okay, by their name. They better fucking pray. I am not fucking around when it comes to this crime. They better fucking pray I never find out their fucking name. This is no joke. That includes the horrors from Tennessee, Michigan, Connecticut, and San Diego. They fucking better pray I never find out their name. I will legally hunt their whore ass for the rest of my life. No joke. Okay? And if you think I'm the only one that's got that type of attitude, justified attitude and mental posture, think again. I've seen grown men yelling on YouTube, trying to provoke these wild horrors to come out in the open. Okay? I've seen scientists and professors call these people the most demonic animals that have ever walked this planet. Okay? We are dealing with completely sadomasochist, fucking freaked out, demented freaks. They're here to fuck you up every way possible so they can then well, I already went into some of that, so I don't want to get back into it because I got to get up and rotate my solar panels and I got stuff to do. So when you go into the YouTube account you're watching this video through, okay? When you go into the YouTube account you're watching this video through, and you see the videos that show the islands implants and the boil bubbles on the eyes, and when you go in and look at those two videos I was talking about 15 minutes ago, your fucking mind's going to be blown. Make sure you take consecutive snap screenshots, because you got to remember, you're literally seeing moving energy. But when you take the consecutive snap screenshots, you're going to see where the energy, especially from the wall not from the ceiling part of the tent, but the wall of the tent. You're going to literally see the energy coming in and literally interfacing with my head and cheek. Okay? Absolutely. Okay? The video is going to blow your mind in of itself. Both of them will. It will blow your fucking mind. But when you see the snap screenshots, because the snap screenshots are like still frame photos of each second of the energy moving. And so you're going to see how the energy comes in, and then you're going to see where it goes, and then you're going to see where it lands. Okay? Because you got to remember, this stuff is being perpetrated. It's live moving particles. So, you know, if you don't take the consecutive snap screenshots, you're going to say to yourself, okay, well, I obviously see it. It's massively there. It's massive victimization. But when you take the snap screenshots, you're going to see why it's there. Because the goal was to send it to interface it with me. That evidence is indisputable. It's massive. It's a massive victory for me. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna let you go because I got oh, absolutely. And I mean, it's a massive victory for me. To make no mistake about it, I got massive physical evidence of the physical effects of being targeted. Oh, absolutely. Okay, I got over 90 videos showing these islands implants being outwardly transparent that they're there. And I'm not going to say any more for legal reasons right now. But watch this. Go into this YouTube account. Okay? Go into this YouTube account. You're going to have to do it with a mature, patient, investigative posture, and baby cakes and sweethearts, you will see truth. And by the fucking way, oh, sorry about the swearing. By the way, I want you to know, we're going to see if they jam this phone. Okay, we're going to see, and if they don't jam the phone, we're going to see if they start prohibiting me from uploading videos, because they don't allow me to make upload videos that I make at Wooded Areas. I gave up on it long ago. Okay, every time I try it at Wooded Area, it stopped. Every time. Okay, so right now I only got one place that I'm very successful in uploading my videos, which they even fuck with those at times. I'm not going to go into all that either, and if I did, trust me, you'd understand. And that's at Vaughn's Grocery Store. Now, I'm going to start making videos that's going to openly fucking expose each and every place these wild whores have used. Each and every one, including Vaughn's. I'm going to start openly detailing and verbalizing each fucking place that's been used since 2011. It's time for me to start throwing down and exposing all these places that have been used. Why? Because these were physical people that used these places. Those physical people that use these places are intimately, directly connected to the wild, vile whores who have tortured me sadistically, horrifically, endlessly through these electromagnetic weapons. They are intimately, directly connected to the wild, vicious whores who sexually human trafficked me in Michigan, who financially human trafficked me in Michigan, and who medically human trafficked me in Michigan. Now, these assholes at these businesses, okay, they didn't just come up with some fucking idea to verbally harass me and do a bunch of other shit in these businesses and universities out of the blue. In other words, they just didn't have a thought that came to mind all of a sudden to say, we're going to harass Leslie in this specific, unique way, which is the same exact identical to a T way that I've been harassed at every business and place I've been to since 2011. In other words, the verbal harassment is identical to a T. It's done in the same exact identical way. Therefore, the asshole who staged the first place to harass me is the same asshole, the same collective thought, who has gotten all places, which include Social Security, Social Services, the DMV, the courthouse, City Hall, okay, all businesses, all universities, 99% of all bus routes, okay. I've been either visually harassed through sensitization method of gang stalking and or auditorily. MTS is massively fucking involved in this crime. I'm going to start throwing down concerning the fucking places that have been used and how they've been used, so you'll know. And trust me, there's already a lot of video evidence on YouTube. There's already a lot of Twitter video broadcast evidence. There's already a lot of Periscope video evidence. This evidence is indisputable. Now, the only way that every single fucking place I've been since 2011 has been used in this identical verbal harassment, okay, 4 Starbucks, 5 Starbucks, 4 Jack in the Boxes, okay, 1 Del Taco, okay, Best Buy, like you would not believe, Ross Grocery Stores, 2 of them, 3 Vaughn's, okay, McDonald's, libraries, universities, every single fucking place I've been, the same verbal harassment has been caught, perpetrated in the same exact identical way. That means one collective thought is hosting it and conferencing with these places. That fucking collective thought is directly connected to these wild vile horrors, okay, who are interfacing with these islands and plants, who have hit me with these electromagnetic weapons and directed energy weapons and ultrasound. They are fucking intimately connected to them, just like your fingers are connected to your hand, okay? I want their fucking names. I want their fucking names. I made a vow a long time ago, these wild horrors ain't walking away. I want their fucking names. I don't give a flying fuck if it's the FBI. In fact, I fucking hope it is the FBI, who are widely reported to be hosting this, okay, locally. That's a fucking luli. Because I complained to their wild, vile whore asses back in 2006 and 7 in Michigan, and they allowed every single bit of the fucking torture and exploitation I endured in Michigan. So I fucking hope it's the FBI. That's a fucking luli. You take any cop out of their fucking home. You take any FBI agent out of their fucking home. And you take them out of their home. And you suffer them, even if it's just for 1 week. What I have endured and what my fellow victims have endured, they would be begging like a fucking dog, okay, to be released from this fucking crime. They would be begging for their lives. Yet their pathology is, we are the whoever we are, and we got a right to do this to you, and we don't give a flying fuck about what you say about it, think about it, or feel about it. This is their pathology. Okay? As long as it's not them being fucking brutalized, they don't give a fuck. That's the type of pathology we as healthy American citizens cannot afford to have running our fucking communities. It's that simple. These are wild, vile, sadistic, mass murdering, raping, human trafficking animals. Do you really want that type of mentality governing your community? We don't give a fuck about what we do to you. We don't give a flying fuck. But how dare anyone do it to us? If they experience this crime one fucking day in the measure that a gang stalking victim endures it, they'd be begging for help. But it's not them enduring it. So they don't give a fuck. You want these kind of motherfuckers out of your community. You want them on another planet. No exaggeration. I gotta go because I'm starting to get a little upset. Oh, absolutely. I gotta live like a fucking animal because of animals. Okay? I came to this area yesterday, and my right elbow was so saturated with radiation and my chest from being hit at Bill's Coffee Shop and Bond's Grocery Store. By the time I got to this area, my elbow was in such fucking bad pain I could barely move. Okay? Then as soon as I fucking went to bed, they went to town on my fucking right knee so bad it was literally vibrating. Okay? So, you know, any mass murdering bitch that sits back and says, we're gonna fucking do this to you because we just don't give a fuck. Okay? Deserves to be kicked out of that fucking community and put in a federal penitentiary. That is no joke. Okay, I gotta go because I got stuff to do. Everybody have a good... Oh, you just wouldn't believe what they're doing to my body. You just wouldn't believe it. I have no doubt at all that I already got cancer. I have no doubt at all. Because of the extreme victimizations I've endured through these satanic, filthy, crumbling, insane maggots. And that's exactly what they are. Let me tell you something about these wild, vicious whores that got these badges that walk around acting like they're fucking hot shit. They ain't nothing. Okay? A badge doesn't make a human being a human being. A badge is just a physical fucking object, just like my cigarette lighter is. Okay? Just because some wild animal has got a fucking badge doesn't make him or her, okay? These people are so fucking criminally insane. They belong in a criminal insane asylum. Instead, they're walking